Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Renegades React. And today we are going to be looking at some top 15s. This is the top 15 craziest things caught on tape.
I mean, probably not an exhaustive list.
No. I was going to say, crazy things. I mean, it really depends on what you consider crazy.
It's true.
I mean,
crazy is a very subjective term.
Yeah, and these, some of these I think are going to be very heart-wrenching in some ways.
Ooh.
I get the feeling. But anyway, this has been requested by several people. So what do you say we get started with it?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get to it.
All right.
Number 15. The Boulder and the Car. During the late August of 2013, the area surrounding Keelung City in Taiwan experienced heavy rain, which caused mudslides around the city and disrupting transportation.
Oh, that's not good.
Dashcam footage captured a very lucky motorist as it made its way along the road towards one of the mountain faces overlooking Keelung City. At one point in the footage, viewers can see a large boulder begin to tumble down before the street, causing a river of mud and rocks to flow down ahead of it. Suddenly, the white car in front of the dashcam is almost completely covered in mud as it's rocked to the side. Finally, the large boulder appears beside the car, rocking slightly towards it before coming to a complete stop.
And honestly, if that guy hadn't swerved over, that would have been right on top of him.
Considering how disastrous the situation could have been,
Oh.
the driver and
Well, he gets
passenger were
pushed
able
over.
to walk away
I'm
with
pretty
only
sure mud
minor
wasn't the
injuries,
only
a
brown
far
fluid
cry from the fate
Involved here. Rooting in
Oh,
that
that is
situation.
crazy.
Number 14. The Double Lotto. Australian
this
Bill
one.
Morgan was a
I actually
middle-aged
saw this
truck
news
driver
story
living
originally.
in Cranbourne, living a modest life with his girlfriend. However, his life soon met near tragedy when he went into cardiac arrest and his heart stopped beating for 14 and a half minutes, after which he slipped into a coma.
Whoa.
Doctors and family nearly had his life support cut off, but changed their minds at the last minute and instead had him transferred to another hospital. After 12 days, Morgan awoke and appeared to suffer no ill effects from the heart attack or the coma.
Jeez.
He began to change his life after the near-death experience, firstly by proposing to his girlfriend, Lisa, and then deciding on a whim to buy a scratch ticket. This decision led him to winning a $27,000 car. Local news heard about the story and decided to cover a piece on the man's good fortune. As part of the segment, they asked Morgan to reenact the purchase of the ticket and the win. Morgan purchased a new ticket, and as the crew filmed him placing the final scratches, a stunned Morgan turned around and revealed he had just won $250,000.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking. I just won 250,000.
Overcome with
His
emotion,
heart-
he
he was
tearfully phoned his
literally
fiancée
dead
to
for
tell her the good
14
news, as
minutes.
onlookers congratulated him.
5
Morgan
minutes
even joked,
without
"I might have had
oxygen
another
and the
heart
brain
attack."
starts
Morgan
to
used the
strongly
money on a
deteriorate.
down payment of a new home for him and his wife
This
to be,
man
and
should,
continues
by
to
all
purchase
rights, be
scratches
dead.
today. Number 13. Ural's
Who
meteor.
cares about the lottery?
Residents living in
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, I
around
remember seeing
Chelyabinsk,
this.
Russia,
Oh,
were
yeah,
stunned when a
those
bright
dash
object lit
cam
up the
videos
sky
of that-
as it
of the
plummeted to the ground
meteorite
and
coming in.
disintegrated
Oh,
the Earth's
wow.
atmosphere on February 15th,
And the loud
2013.
bang, dude.
Like, if
The
I saw
meteor,
that, man,
measured
I'd
at
be
somewhere
like,
between
The world's
12,000
ending.
and
No, you're just like,
14,000
I better be
metric
getting
tons, was
superpowers
so
for
vast
this.
it
No,
was
I'd be like,
spotted
well,
in
it took
6
out the
separate
dinosaurs.
regions
Good
of
luck,
Russia
everybody else.
and 2 provinces in
Well done,
neighboring
sir.
Kazakhstan, and illuminated a light comparable with that of the sun's for over 100 kilometers. The largest unbroken piece of the meteor crashed into Lake Chapakal, which caused a wide hole through the ice.
Or
and
actually,
leaving
I
over
might be
53
like
pieces of meteorite
Son
beneath
Goku?
and around the lake
Yeah,
surface.
yeah,
Luckily
yeah.
for the World Wide Web, many Russian motorists house dash cams in their vehicles,
Yeah.
allowing multiple perspectives on the spectacular event. All footage shows a blinding green light, followed by a massive cloud tail forming behind the meteor. As well as the dash cams, surveillance footages from various
Yeah, the
businesses and
explosion,
establishments
the-
show the
the sonic
destructive
boom
effects of the
knocked
airburst
out, like,
shockwave,
so many
which blew
windows
out
in that
windows
vicinity.
and even
Isn't it
caused the zinc
interesting
factory
what can be
warehouse to
captured
collapse.
when
In
everybody
total,
is filming all the time?
1,491 people were
Well,
injured,
imagine,
including
like, the
180
Tunguska
causes of
event.
eye pain
Like,
and 70 people suffering
I
temporary
mean,
blindness.
if there would have been a camera
Thankfully,
back
no
then
one was
to see
seriously
what
injured
caused
in
that
the event.
explosion,
Pieces of the meteorite
Just
were
like
collected
the Tunguska
and included
blast
in
in
the gold
1909.
medals
Yes.
given out on the one-year anniversary of the
I
event
hope they show the
during
video of, like, the truck full of
2014
cows
Sochi
that wrecks in
Olympics,
Russia.
and 10 gold
Like
medals
cows just roll
received
all
the
over the
commemorative
highway.
medals.
It's really funny, actually.
Number 12. Failed assassination. Ahmed Dogan is the founder of the Bulgarian centre-left party, Movement for Rights and Freedoms. On January 19th, 2013, Dogan was addressing supporters at a convention when a man leapt on stage
Whoa!
and drew a gun pointing it at Dogan's head. Fortunately, the gun failed to fire, and the man was quickly subdued by audience members and security detail.
Jeez.
Footage of the event shows the shocked reaction of onlookers, who roar in anger and shock at what has just unfolded, and people beating the assailant before he is whisked away into custody. Investigators later reported the gun was a gas pistol filled with blanks, and had it gone off, it would have inflicted non-life-threatening injuries to Dogan. The attacker was revealed to be a Turkish-Bulgarian man, Oktay Enmamedov, who said his reasons for the attack was in protest of Dogan's and his party's ideology, which Enmamedov claimed went against Bulgarian principle
so your protest
and was a
is a
threat
fake
to the nation's
assassination with a
well-being.
non-lethal.
It's widely speculated
I think
Enmamedov
maybe
had
he thought
no
it was a
intent
legit
of
gun
killing
because it
Dogan,
was made of
only
metal,
wishing to wound him
but
to weaken
it was
his
a gas
political
pistol.
ability. The following year,
That fired
Enmamedov
bullets.
received a 3-year prison sentence for his actions.
3
Number
years?
11. 1989 World Series.
Oh, this.
Fans gathered in droves to San Francisco's Candlestick Park on October 17, 1989, to witness Game 3 of the World Series baseball game between the Oakland Athletics and
that
San
was
Francisco
the
Giants.
San Francisco
the first
Bay,
crosstown World Series
World Series,
since
'cause it was Oakland versus San
1956.
Francisco.
Things were beginning to get underway, and ABC was showing highlights from the previous game, when suddenly the live feed began to glitch, and announcer Al Michaels stated,
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
before the feed temporarily cut out completely. While video did not return, audio did, and the announcers began to compose themselves, even joking the circumstance as the greatest opening in the history of television. What was witnessed was the Loma Prieta earthquake, a category 9 or violent on the Masali intensity scale, or magnitude 6.9.
Yeah, it's
While
big one.
lasting only between 8
man.
and 15
Oh,
seconds,
wow, the
the
highway
damage was
just
somewhere
going
around
all to hell.
$5.6 to $6 billion, with 63 killed and 3,757 injured. On a positive note, rush hour traffic was much lighter than average because of the amount of spectators
that's
at
the Bay
Candlestick
Bridge
Park
right there,
and people
man.
staying at home to watch the game,
Baseball
resulting in
saved
fewer
lives.
casualties on the collapsed Bay
Jeez.
Bridge and freeway
Baseball
system of
saved
the Bay
lives.
Area.
Hello
Number
there.
10.
It's weird.
Boston thundersnow.
Yes!
Oh, yes!
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 Yes! We got it, baby! We got it! We got it!
During the winter of 2014-15, parts of the United States and Canada experienced extremely cold temperatures and high snowfall. Between February 14th and 15th of 2015, Boston received 12 inches of snow, and other regions around Massachusetts reported up to 22 inches of snowfall, causing dangerous road conditions and traffic accidents. On February 15th, the Weather Channel uploaded a video showing behind the scenes of reporter Jim Cantor and his crew capturing thundersnow on tape, a rare phenomenon where thunderstrikes occur during snowfall. Thundersnow
Incredibly rare.
more often occurs over the Great Lakes region of the US and Canada during events known as snow squalls, and cold air passes over water warmer than the air temperature. It's rare thundersnow occurs outside lake regions of the world, but it's not impossible. The video shows Cantor's excitement of the
Cantor
event
just
taking
loses
place,
his
celebrating not 1, not 2, but a total of 6 the camera managed to capture.
Very nice.
The video quickly gathered popularity, and as of the uploading of this top 15 list, it's seen almost 4.2 million views, as well as an auto-tune remix by well-known channel Shmo
So
Yaho. Number 9. Miracle on the
Oh
Hudson.
yeah, the Hudson.
On
the Hudson
January
plane.
15th, 2009,
Right,
US Airways
yeah.
Flight 1549 set off from LaGuardia Airport in New York City, bound for a stopover in Charlotte, North Carolina, before reaching Seattle. However, a major problem occurred after takeoff when the Airbus A320 struck a pack of birds, causing both engines to stall. Air traffic control immediately stopped all flights in and out of LaGuardia,
quite
and the
the
crew of
foul
1549 steered back towards the airport to make an emergency landing. Unfortunately, the plane was losing altitude too quickly, and it looked as if the plane would not reach the tarmac. Captain Chelsea Sully
This is why man was
Sullenberger
not
made
meant
the
to fly.
decision to land the plane in the
There are
Hudson
jokes to be
River,
made here.
knowing any
Yeah.
attempts to land on the ground could
'Cause-
ignite the gallons of unburned fuel and kill everyone on board. Sully carefully glided the plane as close to boats operating in the river as safely possible, then bringing the plane down in the north section of the river. He then gave an evacuation order
There you
once the
go.
plane had reached a full stop, and all 155 persons on board escaped. 97
You know that guy
with
has to be
minor
super
injuries
clutch to
and
land a
5
plane
serious.
in a
The
river.
dramatic landing
Straight
was captured
up
on a surveillance
testicular
camera,
elephantitis.
showing the amazing
Yes.
feat take place. Sully was praised by
Look at that.
passengers and fellow crew, and he was declared a hero by the general public. For his bravery, Sully was invited to Barack Obama's inauguration ceremony and was the honored guest at Super Bowl 43.
There you go, my
Number
man.
8. Harrison O'Keefe.
What?
Number 7.
Wait, what? What was that?
I didn't see the
number 8. Even though using this footage is fair use, that copyright owner previously falsely flagged this video.
Okay.
Therefore, we are unable to use the footage for number 8.
Click a link in the description.
What is number 8?
There it is.
Okay.
Moment.
Divers find man alive in sunken ship off Nigerian coast. We might not want to do this, Nate. If it's already been flagged for copyright.
Well,
I wouldn't do that.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Nate, we really probably shouldn't be doing this.
I'll probably edit this part out.
Yeah.
We'll probably just describe what's going on. Diver found a hand underwater that was reaching for him.
And
He's
wow.
coming up. He's coming up and
if I was diving that deep and a hand grabbed me, like,
oh my gosh.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, wow.
Good Lord. You are
quite lucky, sir.
I would like pee all in my wetsuit and be like, it's a ghost, kill it. Get the flare gun.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah, for real.
Wow. Yeah, we need to put the link to this in the description.
Yeah, well, since this got flagged and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's because of Telegraph. I've heard Telegraph's really anal about their videos being shown, which,
and with things the way they are now.
Yeah, we want to be careful.
So
we'll post the link to the link will be right here. So click it and you try and sync it up with us, or pause the video and watch it. And then hear our commentary later.
You'll understand what we're talking about because this is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost swear this was staged.
I don't know. The look on that dude's face.
No, you're not wrong.
I think
that's why I say almost.
Yeah, I think he was blessed to think, oh my gosh, someone's going to save me. I'm going to live.
Yep.
I've been trapped underwater for God knows how long. Jeez.
Huh.
All right, so we're going to continue now.
Yep.
7. Prisoners save guard. Prison can be a place filled with tension and uncertainty, which is something Deputy Ken Moon found out during one of his shifts. Moon was on guard duty in Orient Road Jail in Florida when, without warning, inmate Douglas Burden charged at him and got him in a chokehold. CCTV footage recorded the entire scene, and it almost looked as if the situation was about to get worse when other inmates rushed towards the fight. However, the tables turned when the first inmate to reach the scene, Jerry Diguez Jr., unleashed a powerful punch to Burden's face, knocking all 3 men to the ground. Other inmates then proceeded to pull Burden off Moon, while another called emergency over Moon's radio. Burden became overpowered and restrained on the floor by inmates.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. By another inmate.
But to watch all that,
oh, that's terrifying.
It looks like they're totally ganging up on the dude. You wouldn't even know
marijuana possession to aggravated assault. But on this day, appeared to redeem themselves by saving Moon's life.
Hey, good behavior right
Senior
there, man.
guard
Add
Jim
to it.
Previtera revealed at a press conference upon asking the inmates why they stepped in to help Moon. They all replied, "Moon's a good guy." Burden was placed in solitary confinement after the attack, and Moon was taken to hospital for treatment of minor injuries. This video goes to show how even people society would label as unwanted are worthy of redemption.
There you go.
Number 6. Joplin Tornado. On May 22nd, 2011, a powerful F5 tornado touched down in Joplin, Missouri, and caused extensive chaos for over 40 minutes before finally dissipating back into the sky. Within the short time it was on the ground, 158 people were killed and 1,150 others were injured, with a total of $2.8 billion in damages. It is recorded as the deadliest tornado in the United States since 1947, and the 7th deadliest overall, as well as the most costly tornado in American history.
Wow.
Security cameras at East Middle School captured the full intensity of the tornado's wrath as it entered close proximity to the building. The destruction being inflicted reflects the aftermath of a bomb exploding, with debris and furniture tossed around. The exterior shots of the school show how little mercy this force of nature has, and really puts into perspective just how devastating the storm was. At one point, nearly the entire vision is obscured by water and debris, leaving only the front concrete and the support pillar visible.
Wow.
Interestingly, Joplin is located only a few hundred miles west from where the US's deadliest tornado occurred, the Tri-State Tornado, in 1925, which killed almost 700 people. Number 5. Phoenix helicopter collision. On July 27, 2007, news helicopters from various news stations were following a police pursuit of a suspect driving a work truck around Phoenix, Arizona. Choppers from ABC's KNXV-TV and Channel 3's KTVK were filming the suspect exiting his original vehicle and entering another when both choppers collided mid-air on live TV.
Oh, crap.
We're going to pull out.
Good.
We don't know what has just happened right there.
Sky Fox 10 reporter pilot Don Hooper radioed into his station, stating he had just witnessed the two choppers crash into each other and plummet to the ground. Hooper's voice is shaken as he then radios to Sky Harbor Airport to report the crash in an attempt to get an emergency crew to the impact sites. Various angles of the aftermath were shown live due to the high traffic of news helicopters in the area at the time, and footage from Hooper's cameras show the collision and ground impact of both helicopters. Sadly, the two-man crews of the helicopters perished when the helicopters hit the ground.
Wow.
Number 4. Lake Peigneur mining disaster. On November 20th, 1980,
My
on
buddy
Lake
Clint
Peigneur,
talked about
Louisiana,
this.
an oil rig
in-
belonging
this
to
was in,
Texaco made a
Louisiana.
major
His dad
miscalculation
worked in
when
the
it
salt
accidentally
mine.
drilled into a salt
His
mine
dad worked in
belonging
this
to the
mine.
Diamond Crystal Salt Company, causing the drill to jam. The rig was evacuated as people attempted to find a solution to the issue. 90 minutes after the rig jammed, a vortex formed and sucked the rig down into the hole, along with many gallons of water rushing down into the mine. 55 employees were in the salt mine at the time and quickly began an evacuation process once water started flowing and flooding the caverns. Suddenly, the entire lake was now emptying into the mine, much like an unplugged bathtub, sending everything in its path down with it. Video footage of the scene showed trees and 11 barges and a tugboat were sent down through the hole. The suction was so great, the nearby canal flowing towards the Gulf of Mexico reversed flow back into the lake and temporarily formed a 164-foot waterfall. After 2 days, the water finally equalized in the salt mine and the flow stopped. A total of 65 acres were washed away, and the lake went from being a shallow lake into a deep lake, changing the type of fish living there. The intake from the reverse flow also brought in salt water, which many mistook to be a result of the excess amount of salt left in the mine. Despite the destruction to the surrounding area, all 55 miners escaped, and no one was injured or killed in the incident thanks to well-rehearsed evacuation proceedings.
There you go.
Number 3. American Airlines Flight
I know
11.
this video.
It seemed like a typical late summer's day on September the 11th, 2001. It was about 8:15 in the morning, and residents of New York City were just beginning their day, either off to work, school, or tourists getting a fresh start to explore the extravagant city. Two filmmakers, brothers Jules and Thomas Naudet, were in the process of filming a documentary about the New York City Fire Department when they captured something that is embedded on people's minds across the world. Jules rode along with the firefighters after they received a call of a possible gas leak. As fire
And he looks
personnel
to
were
the
inspecting the
left,
site
and
for
then
gas,
bang.
the loud roar of a low-flying jet caused Jules and the crew to stop briefly and look overhead. Jules turned his camera
bang.
around just in the nick of time to film Flight 11 crash into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Stunned, Jules and the firefighters began expressing their shock over what they just witnessed, before packing up and making their way towards what was ground zero for the September 11th attacks. A long day in American history as time seemed to stop and the world focused their sights on New York and later Washington, D.C. Often overlooked is a second piece of video from WNYW-TV News rolling as Flight 11 hit the building. The plane is not visible in the footage, though the sound of the jet and the crash is captured on audio, along with the smoke bellowing up into the skyline post-impact. By the end of the day, 2,977 people died, including 1,366 in the North Tower and all 92 passengers on Flight 11. Number 2. The Suicidal Sisters. Police in Staffordshire, England, arrived at what appeared to be a routine stop on the M6 motorway on May 17, 2008, after two women were struck by vehicles attempting to cross through traffic on foot.
Man.
Little did anyone on scene realise the day was not going to go over as routine as originally expected.
Wait, did
Without
she keep
warning,
going across the
one of
street after one
sisters
got hit?
ran back out onto the motorway and was struck by a semi-truck, which fractured the bones to her pelvis and legs. Seconds later, the second sister bolted out onto the road and was struck by a car, throwing her to the ground and knocking her unconscious. A film crew producing the show Motorway Cops were also on the scene and captured the entire event on film. Despite the seriousness of her injuries, the woman struck by the truck continued to aggressively resist all attempts of treatment, shouting profanity and claiming the officers were not real. The second sister suddenly awoke and stood up. As a female officer attempted to restrain her, she struck a punch into the officer's face and ran onto the other side of the carriageway, again almost being struck by cars. Thankfully, the officers were quick to react and immediately stopped traffic, then restrained her with the help of onlookers. She continued to shout abnormal remarks, including pleading for help and for people to call the police. Finally, both sisters were restrained and brought to a nearby hospital. While originally thought to be under the influence of drugs, it was later discovered mental illness was the cause of their bizarre antics.
Wow.
The sister, who was not seriously injured, later murdered 54-year-old Glenn Hollinshead in an unprovoked attack for which she was charged, but sentenced only to 5 years on manslaughter charges due to diminished capacity. Number 1.
That is crazy.
Skydiving mishap.
Oh, dear.
In late 2013, 9 skydivers and 2 pilots lifted off over Superior, Wisconsin for a day of adrenaline and adventure. None of them expected just how much adrenaline they would receive. As both planes prepared to jump, one plane descended rapidly towards the other, and the two collided at 12,000 feet above the airport. The second plane's left wing ripped off, and a fireball nearly engulfed the first. Several jumpers were out the door, ready to go when the incident occurred, momentarily wedging them between the two crafts, and several from the second plane being knocked off and sent into free fall. 5 of the jumpers were wearing GoPro cameras and captured the entire event unfold from both planes. Despite the seriousness of the situation, all 9 skydivers and both pilots survived and safely made it back to Earth without suffering serious injury. In fact, the first plane managed to land safely back at the airport as emergency vehicles arrived. In an interview on NBC, all 9 skydivers talked about how lucky they feel no one was seriously hurt, and all admitted they would gladly skydive once again. One jokingly remarking, "I'm more afraid of spiders."
What?
Okay, I feel like I can say this because everybody lived. Are we sure that wasn't a GTA 5 Let's Play?
Spiders.
Like, okay, all right. That is serious. Everybody lived.
Yeah.
Spiders do not fireball tackle you thousands of feet in the air.
No, to be fair, you fireball tackle spiders thousands of feet in the air.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! That plane just falcon punched the other plane. The dude's like, "I'm scared of spiders." Like what? Come on, man. Oh.
I mean, okay, all right. I've been rewatching some Achievement Hunter GTA 5 Let's Plays. That happened.
Yeah. As a fact, Gassy Mexican had something similar happen. He was in a helicopter, and H2O Delirious was flying around, and locked onto him with missiles. And he heard the missile lock. He's like, guys, jump, and he's the only one that made it out. And he looks up. His camera pans up as soon as he pulls his chute, and boom, the helicopter explodes, and everybody inside the helicopter dies. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm James Bond."
The one like,
and he goes, da 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 da.
I was watching Titanfall. And so they pull the Titan out, and they're like, all right, everybody get in. Everybody get in. Everybody get in. They hadn't pulled far enough away from the spawn point, so another Titan spawns in, clips theirs, and both of them blow up. You're just like, what? I mean, in all seriousness, number 1, GTA 5. That's what it's...
GTA 5 is, in terms
Was
of...
Gavin flying one of those planes?
If Gavin breathes on it, I'm afraid something bad's going to happen.
And heaven help that he get near a fire truck.
Hey, he did. He does. He does every now and again. He always
It's a problem.
like douses them with water and like keeps knocking them down
And kills them. I mean,
Yeah.
he's killed people.
Oh man.
But honestly, I think the craziest thing there is, number 1, the footage you got of that meteor.
Oh yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, that's...
And number 2, and 14 and a half minutes, his heart was stopped.
Yeah. Bill Morgan,
and no brain damage.
That's tremendous.
That is unbelievable.
What do you say to stuff like that?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, it's baffling unto itself, but at the same time, it's just like it's just like it's miraculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's miraculous the fact that he's not only alive, but he suffered no ill side effects from being pretty much dead for 14 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and then, on top of, the odds of that alone are astronomical. Then wins lottery.
Not just once.
Then wins lottery again.
Yep.
It boggles the mind.
It keeps.
You're just like,
It
what?
just. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. It's impossible. It's impossible to predict something like that happening. Jeez.
Whew.
All right. So all those were very, very, very crazy. I mean,
Yep.
geez Louise. I mean,
I was glad the thundersnow one made the list.
yeah, that one.
That one was really neat.
Well, it's just like catching a white squall on film.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weather anomaly that was considered to be impossible, but yet it happened. Happened right there.
Which reminds me, we need to make a trip sometime to try to see the Brown Mountain Lights.
Oh yeah. Pretty much the equivalent to the Northern Lights, except
Yeah.
it's here in the South, and it happens pretty much year round, right?
Far as I know, I went once. I was very young. My parents went, and we were out there for hours and saw nothing. We came back, and the camper that we were staying in was flooded. So that was an interesting evening. But I don't know. We got to go try that.
We have to. Yeah, there's.
It's not even that far from us.
No, it's not. It's a fair drive, but it's a fairly close drive in
Yeah.
terms of what I've driven before.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest. I'll do it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go right now. I mean, let's not actually go right now. We
Yeah.
got more stuff we got to film, but
Yeah, but soon enough,
Yeah.
we will do it.
that one needs to happen.
Yeah. All right.
But just,
So
wow.
yeah. So a lot of these real crazy. What did you all think was the craziest? I mean, to me, Bill Morgan, his.
Yeah.
That one to me was the one that stuck out in my mind as like the craziest because you think of the true impossibility of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
goes into a coma that, I mean, in all honesty, he probably, that long without oxygen, he probably should not have been capable of being resuscitated.
Yeah.
Was resuscitated, went into a coma. It's like, all right, there's probably brain damage. Comes out of the coma.
Just wakes up.
Just, they talk about taking them off life support. And I've heard of taking people off life support and then their body takes over and they do all right for a while.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. It's you think it's impossible and then you see stuff like that and
yeah,
it's just
you go,
wow. Yeah.
I mean,
So, once again, guys, what did you all think was the craziest? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, leave a like. Also, check the description for all of our various other content. And, yeah, we'll see you later, Internet. Peace out.